This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Consider supporting us on Patreon.
Yo, what the fuck is up there? Everybody out there on the YouTube source, you good about Papa Tkyo coming to you live from Chiba, Japan. I'm on a little bit of a bike trip with my hot gay hetero life mate Papa Tetsu. Yeah, today I want to talk about some subject that definitely I'm gonna have to word it in a way that I don't get I don't get age gated or demonetized for. But it's a subject that like people have asked me about on my most of the time people don't really, I always say at the end of these rants, mail me, email me at my email to ask me a question or whatever for a rant topic, but not that many people do. But a lot of people ask me questions during my live streams that I don't really get the chance to answer or get a bigger chance to elaborate on. And so that's one of the things I've been doing for these rants recently is, oh my god, this old lady going through, what is she doing? Here we go. ちょっと待って。おばあさん大丈夫か？ちょっと持ってってあげようか。はい。はい。大丈夫かい？あ、はいはい、いやいや、OK。ちょっと前に来て。はい。OK。あ、いやいや、大丈夫。手あげて。はい。大丈夫ですか？ OK。はいはい。はい。No, that was totally random, but okay, yeah, man, that was just out of the blue. Oh god, that lady must be senile or something. Oh, I hope she's okay. Yeah, she seems to be fine. Okay, cool. Yeah. Anyway, fuck, what was I talking about? Yeah, people sometimes ask me this stuff during my live streams and I can elaborate on it here. But anyway, yeah, today I want to talk about, why do I not drink that much anymore? Why don't, do I do drugs anymore? Hey, look at this. Fucking, look at that beautiful fucking, I don't even know what that is. Cabbage? Potatoes? Anyway. Oh, man. Yeah, so, but first, this wouldn't be a Tkyo-san video without shouting out today's sponsor, Boom, Nakano Shinbashi Guest House. If you guys want a cheap place to stay in Tokyo, or you're planning on coming to Tokyo, whether it's 2 weeks, a month, whatever, Nakano Shinbashi Guest House has got you covered, dude. This place is 5 minutes from Shinjuku, $400 a month, and it's just awesome. It's just fucking awesome. And on top of that, you get to live with Japanese people and practice your Japanese. So eventually, if you do want to move back to Japan, you have that option too. So definitely would recommend you guys doing this in the future, etc. And yeah, anyway, also big shout out to NordVPN.com. Dude, if you guys have an antivirus, that's fucking cool and everything, but you need to keep yourself protected, and that's where NordVPN comes in. Each time you go on the internet to all your gay favorite porn sites, people are watching you. They're watching you go into the gay porn sites, and you got to keep yourself protected, and that's where a VPN comes in. And you're like, but Dad, don't VPNs cost a lot of money? And I'm like, shut up, son. Shut your whore mouth and you listen to me right now, and I slap you in the face. And but anyway, then once you calm down and stop screaming, then I tell you about, look, your dad has got you covered. Oh my god, big truck. Yeah, we both bowed. I love that. In Japan, we both do the bow. I think in America you just put your hand out like the sorry move, but in Japan we do the bow. But anyway, it's yeah, NordVPN, I have a promo code that'll make it cheap for you guys, and trust me, I think it's less than, I think it's $10 a month or something ridiculously cheap. I mean, it's just slightly bigger than a fucking Big Mac meal. So if you can just hold off one Big Mac meal, I know it's very hard, but hold off one Big Mac meal a month. Well, not only do I help, you help give me a kickback from that, But yeah, you know, it also helps out you guys too. And if we can do a win-win situation, that's always good in my book. And also, God, I have made probably 12 of these rants recently, and I totally forgot to give a shout out to all my patrons up until now, like up in these most recent batch of rants. So also big shout out to all my people who signed up for patreon.com/TkyoSam. Whether you're one of my fucking $1 a month people or one of my $100 a month people, I fucking love your faces and thank you for supporting me. And yeah, remember, I always put people's names at the end of these videos. So if you support me, your name's going up there too. So thank you guys. Yeah, but anyway, and a question for you guys, and that is, what do you currently do? Do you do drugs? Do you do the drugs? Do you drink? If so, like, what do you do? I'm guessing a lot of you guys smoke pot because, you know, Papa's down with the green. But I mean, how many of you guys are recreational cocaine users? Or, you know, how often do you guys drink? How often do you drink? And what do you like to drink? You know. The thing is like I never had a problem with drinking, you know. I never really drank that much, but I never had a problem with drinking. I usually just, for me, like I would never drink at home, and these were never really like solid rules for me. But just growing up, I would just never, I wouldn't drink at home. You know, I would, like, you know, my mom, for all of you guys who don't know my stupid ass fucking backstory, but my mom was an alcoholic when I was growing up. And so I saw the worst part of alcohol that a child can be exposed to, you know? I mean, luckily I was never beaten so bad I got to the hospital, or never got fucking molested by, you know, my neighbor. Or like my drunken stepdad. My mom never remarried, but you know, I never was abused like that. So I always felt that I was lucky because of that. Because it's like I got beat, but I never got sent to the hospital beat. Like I remember Eminem, like in his biography, he said that he got this kid beat him up so bad that he got sent to the hospital and he was in a coma for a couple days. And here we're gonna skip the line here. We're skipping the line, baby. Here we go. We are skipping this fucking line. This is a great thing about having a motorcycle. You skip around everybody. But yeah, because of that, I never really considered my situation to be too bad, you know? I mean, you know, it could have been worse, you know? But because of that, I was always just a social drinker. I was never like I remember I met some straight edge kids when I was in high school, and I was like, man, these kids are a bunch of fucking lamos. Like, we don't drink because drinking is lame, man. And I'm like, yeah, but why do you need to make your whole like persona based on like not doing drugs or like drinking? Like, you're like those vegans that are like, I am super vegan, that not even my shampoo or conditioner it has been tested on animals. And to be fair, I'm not vegan, but yeah, I use shampoo and conditioner and soap that wasn't tested on animals. But the reason why I have that is just because you know, the less I don't use chemical style soaps like that. Most of my shit is just natural because from this year, you know, I'm going camping more, and I want to be able to wash my body outside without feeling guilty about just like letting the soap go into the water, you know, of like a stream or something. So that's why I'm always a little bit cautious about that stuff. But yeah, you know, it's just I love this. It's like, do you want to go this other way? No, you already sent me on this one path. I want to go this way. Okay, so we want to go on 464, I guess, the whole way. 464. And anyway, so yeah, so it's like I never was really like you know, growing up, I never really cared about, like, you know, I was pretty, like, you know, well, no, I wasn't. I was gonna say I was pretty straight edge until Like, nah. In middle school, like, I purposely rebelled. I was part of like a skater group, and we would smoke weed and we'd drink and everything. And you know, I mean, like, I really hated alcohol at the beginning. It just stung my mouth too much, and it just wasn't fun for me to drink, you know? Wait, that's red. Oh, no, it's green now. Okay, cool. But yeah, I just never got into drinking because that was just not really... I mean, like, I liked smoking pot, but there's a thing, like, when you get too high, you know? When you get just too fucking high. And I hated that, you know? I didn't like that at all. Like, when you get too high. It's like that John whatever guy, the Canadian guy's song. You know, when you're getting too high, you know? When you go out to get something to eat, but then you forgot what you were going to go out for to eat. Then you're too high, you know? I fucking love that guy. I love his songs. Anyway, yeah, I just, you know, like, I always liked the idea of, like Archer, like an Archer character where it's like a functioning alcoholic, you know? Where it's like, God damn it, I need booze. But you don't do it because you get drunk. It just makes the mood better and everything, you know? That's what I wanted to get at, you know? But... like, I remember my mom would just be drunk sometimes, and like, she'd just be passed out on the kitchen floor, and I'd be like, yeah, Mom's sleeping again. Okay, I won't be able to talk to her for a couple hours. Well, might as well go watch some 3 channels of local TV I have, you know. And anyway, it's just like, but when I was in like middle school and high school, yeah, I tried to drink, but I wasn't really, like, I remember there was a girl that I went to school with. I went on and off to school with her from elementary school to high school, and her name was Jessie. And, you know, my mom always put me in these rich white kid schools, even though we were poor, because it's like, hey, at least this is the public school where all the white, you know, rich people send their kids. So, you know, it's, you know, they can't do anything wrong. But I remember they would just be fucking drinking. Like, I remember in high school, I used to get anime tapes, like bootlegged anime tapes from my friend, and we would go, like, I would go to the AV room at the library, and I would just watch these tapes during my free break, my free period, if I had the chance, just because it was, you know, it was easier than going out, and I could just get like a cup of ramen or something from the cafeteria and eat it there. And I remember that Jessie girl would sometimes come with her other friends. And they were pretty preppy, you know. They were pretty preppy, and they would just come and they would just drink and like hang out with me while I watched the anime. And I didn't really like the drinking because they would always do like they'd always offer it to me because like the librarian liked me, so she would always let me use the AV room to, you know, watch the anime and stuff. And then, you know, she's like, "Who are these?" I'm like, "Oh, they're just my friends, you know. We're just hanging out." And she's like, okay, so she never questioned that. And so Jessie and her friend would come in with Gatorade and shitty vodka, and they would just get drunk, like, in the middle of the class day. And they did that all the time. And I hated vodka, and I hated the idea of chasing, like, alcohol. I was like, this should taste good from the beginning. Why do you need to, like, cover it with stuff? This, like, just sucks. Like, you know, like, this isn't fun, you know? But I guess those kids weren't exposed to maybe alcoholic passed out on the floor that often compared to me. So, you know, they probably didn't think, like, you know, I saw the worst of alcoholism when I was very young. So I didn't want to, you know, like, I always stayed away from big hardcore drugs. I mean, I've done weed, like, you know, I've smoked a shit ton of weed. You know, I've done cocaine. I never did mushrooms. I did salvia, and I did what is it? I never smoked crack. I never did heroin. I smoked opium one time with my buddy Sean. And, but yeah, like, I never really did anything aside from weed most of the time. And, yeah, like, because, like, I knew that it's, like, it sounds so lame, but, like, one time you try it, if you really like it, you're going to want to feel that again. And so you try it again, you know? And yeah, I just didn't want to be, like, I knew how easy it would be to become one of those people, so I just never did that. And when it came to drinking when I got older, you know, I would drink, but, like, you know, I would, like, you know, when I first came to Japan, I would drink chew highs, which are basically just, like, It's like, think Mike's Hard Lemonade, but instead of lemonade, it's just Sprite. It's just Sprite mixed with alcohol in the can. And I drank so much of those when I would go out to party with people because I didn't really like the taste of beer at the time. But I drank so much of those that, like, I can't stand the taste of those anymore. I can't drink those anymore just because I have, like, a gag reflex for it now, and I hate it. You know, like, I used to like that shit, and now I can't enjoy it just because it tastes bad, you know? It tastes bad to me. So, and then, like, I grew up a little bit, and I, started drinking more beer and everything, and, that was fun, but aside from that, like, nothing really exciting after that, just drinking beer on occasion. I turned into like a salaryman, the Japanese salaryman, they like to drink with just like three things, like sake, shochu, and beer. Like that's their drug of choice usually. It's just alcohol, tobacco, that's it. But even the alcohol, it's not wussy cocktails or anything like that. It's just mostly just and look at this, I love this too, by the way, sorry. It was mostly just beer, alcohol, and like a beer, sake, and shochu, which is like Japanese vodka pretty much, but it goes down way smoother. No, I was gonna say, I love that we're in the countryside, because look, all the signs are in Japanese. You're in the countryside when the signs stop being in English and they're in Japanese, and I love that, because it's like, yeah, dude, like, I hate that Japan caters to so much English now because of tourism. It's like, nah, dude, like, Japanese language kicks ass. Part of me really wish that the Japanese Empire just kept going, we got a Blade Runner kind of thing going. Not with the Nazis winning, but I mean just like Japan and Japanese pop culture and Japanese language becoming more of a big prevalent thing in the world. Like, God, I wish, like in China's trying to do that now. They have like ALTs for public schools in America, where like, they teach the American kids Chinese and stuff. And, I mean, that's cool. Like, that's actually really cool. Oh, don't run into me, mister. Yeah. Oh, my bike's leaking oil again. Damn it. It's leaking oil from the fucking handlebar. Damn it. Oh, look at these two people. Oh, they hit that guy. They hit him, or he hit her, or whatever. Wouldn't that be a nice love story if he hit her and then they get married? How did you meet? I literally hit your mom with my car. Did it hurt, Mommy? My heart hurt because he broke it because he was so beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so we have a choice coming up. We can either go left, or we can keep on this road. I think we're going to keep on this road, though. For right now, at the moment, at least. Because this is, yeah, we can take 464, and we can split it. We can even keep going straight on 464, or we can loop around that. It says if we take this straight road, we'll be 8 minutes late. But it's fine. Now look at this. This thing is leaking oil. God damn it. And I asked the guy, because look, it's pretty old, right? But this is like for the brakes. But the brakes are fine now. They're not bad, and I'm not ever really going super fast. But yeah, it's just, he said it's because of the heat. The heat expands the oil, and there's so much that's stuck there, so it just gets kind of whatever. But it's so annoying. But it's still not dangerous enough to like have me not go on this trip. Look at all these cars that are stopped right now. There must have been an accident or something. Let's cut through here. Wow. I wonder, yeah, there must have been a car accident or something. This is the reason why I hated driving in Chiba originally, was because of shit like this, It's like, people would, like there would be a car accident, or it's just like the road lights like just stopped, and there was just such a backlog of fucking traffic here. But anyway, I mean, it's just like back on topic of drugs and alcohol. So it's like when I came to Japan, I would drink, but I still didn't drink that much, and not that often. And but I did start smoking cigarettes here, even though it still wasn't that often. I mean, like, when I think of somebody who like really has a bad smoking habit, they're going through like 5+ cigarettes a day for like consecutive days. I would only smoke when I was out, like, you know, on either going somewhere new and I had to kill time. Like, I always carried a pack of cigarettes with me, and that was like when I had mild 7s. Like, mild 7s were fucking awesome, and because I saw them originally in the Battle Royale comic, and I was like, this is fucking cool. I love the design of mild 7. That looks just, and they were really easy to smoke. And I just was like, you know, fuck it. These salaryman guys are cool. You know, they just drink canned coffee and smoke these cigarettes. These guys are pretty badass. So, you know, I wanted to kind of copy them. And so, like, whenever I would go out to, I wouldn't, like, you know, some people go out to cafes to hang out. But in Japan, you're pretty lucky because most places have an arcade nearby. Like, that's one thing that you can always kind of count on Japan for having for most train stations. They'll have a convenience store, an arcade, or like an Indian restaurant, or like a dentist nearby. And so it's like, you know, I'd rather go to the arcade to kill time if I went someplace early, because I always like to be early. It's way better to be early than late, you know, always. Oh man, I smell burning plastic. I hope that's not my bike bags. Ugh. Well, either way, yeah, I decided I need to get rid of my bike bags. They've gotten holes in them, and it's not good for in the rain time. And so, yeah, I'm gonna have to, like, the boxes I want to get are like $200, but yeah, fuck it, you know, those won't melt, those won't hit the tires, so it's better to get those eventually. But yeah, anyway, yeah, but I mean, like, even then I didn't really smoke that often, you know. So when I would smoke, it was still only on occasion. And, you know, and like, so I wasn't really a big, heavy smoker. And when I drank, I didn't drink at home. I usually drank with people, like going out. Like, I wouldn't just have like a beer by myself. Like, one of my good friends in Japan, he has to drink because he sees that as his social outlet. So he'll go to cheap places with like the same fucking people all the time, and he'll just drink with them, you know? He'll go to like some cheap place and just drink with these people and just have fun, you know? But for me, I'm like, I don't really like to have like that as a social lubricant for me. And, you know, I started taking these ADHD pills like a year or two ago. And, you know, like you got to remember too that like I took ADHD pills from 3rd grade till the end of college. And then when I came to Japan, I just quit cold turkey. I just stopped taking them because I was taking dexatrine, which is like, apparently it's a stronger form of Adderall, but I'd say it's still more like Ritalin, because Adderall gives you a strong release in a couple hours, but like Ritalin gives you like a slow release over the whole day. And anyway, yeah, I took those till the end of college, and I never like hated them, and that really helped me kind of square up for the most part. And, you know, but then when I came to Japan, it's just like, you can't bring it over here. And I'm like, okay, fuck it. I just won't take it anymore. And I really wonder where my life would have been if I had kept taking those drugs. But anyway, when, like 2 years ago, my buddy, Rikai Suru, one of my mods in my Discord, was like, hey, because he's a medical translator, and he's like, hey, you know, they have a ADHD drug called Concerta now, and that's available in Japan. It's basically Ritalin. There's only like 1 or 2 things, like small little chemical things different from that, but yeah, they have that as now, you know, that's you can, like, you know, they have that now. And I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. And he's like, just try it. And I've been going to the same mental clinic. I actually did 2 videos on it. If you guys want to check it out, I did 2 different videos on it already for my rants. Make sure to check those out. I'll put it in the clip bar up at the top, so just you know, click on that and save those links for later. I'll also put them in the description so you guys can check out those videos later in case you take ADHD stuff or you live in Japan and you want to take it, because it's definitely helped me out. But anyway, the point is why I brought that up is because I take those ADHD pills. You're not really supposed to drink doing that stuff, you know. Any medication you're not really supposed to drink alcohol with. And so, like I just like out of habit for the last 2 years, I don't really drink that often, because if I drink, I have to schedule it, I have to schedule my drinking, and that's so lame. And I don't like planning ahead that much. Like I'm a guy who just really doesn't like doing that. So, yeah. So I don't really want to do shit like that. So I just don't drink, And the funny thing is like I remember my buddy Jason told me that speed bump. He told me that he's like, look, I forgot where he got it from, but he's like, guys, if we don't have sex for 3 weeks, it's like we go back to being a virgin. Like we forget what it feels like, and we, blah, 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 all this shit, And so it's like, okay, so it's like, yeah, if you don't drink for 3 weeks, if you don't fuck for 3 weeks, and you're a dude, it's kind of like you went back to being a virgin, at least mentally or something. And I don't know how true that is. It's been like, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a couple months for me. It's not been a priority for me. And but like, I still love the touch of a woman, and I'm not putting any people up on a pedestal. But like, that being said, after not drinking for a couple months, I feel the same way about alcohol now that I did when I was like a middle schooler, I'm just like, this stuff doesn't taste good anymore. What the fuck? This shit used to taste good, and now I just don't like it, and it makes me all bubbly and gassy, and then I have to pee a lot. This is one of the reasons why I like to drink water so much now. And this is so funny too. I'm like the fattest I've ever been. Like I at the beginning of the year, I was 186 kilos. I weighed myself before I left today, and I was 78 kilos. And I'm hoping that it's because I've been going to the gym so much, and that's just muscle. Like, I'm hoping that's the reason why, because muscle is dense, especially if you build it up. But I'm hoping it's just that, because that would be cool. But it's just so funny that like I stopped drinking soda, stopped eating fast food. I don't drink alcohol, and I'm still like the fattest. I feel healthy. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel better. Like, I can climb up stairs a lot easier now, and I have way better. I don't have trouble sleeping as much as I did before, and I don't have as many anxiety attacks or whatever as before. And yeah, so like obviously I feel better, but I'm still fat, and I'm guessing it was just because one, I'm still eating like big portions of food, and that's obviously it. And then two, I just wasn't getting out and getting exercise. But now I am, like now 3 days a week I'm going to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm getting up at 5 p.m. It's pretty fucking, or not 5 p.m., 5 a.m. I'm trying to get up at 5:30 a.m. from now on, and it's really, really helpful, Like, who would have ever thought getting up at 5 a.m. would be so fun, Like, you get up at 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. and then you take your shit for like 10-20 minutes, check your social media, your email, whatever the fuck, right? And then you already are in your gym clothes. You go out to the gym, you have your routine, and the weights that you got to do, and then you just start fucking pumping that shit out. And then you take your shower afterwards, and you go outside, and then you go upstairs and you make yourself your spinach and banana smoothie with crushed ice and a little bit of soy milk and some vanilla essence and some Saigon cinnamon, and you're fucking good, And then you used a whole batch of spinach, so you're shitting like a champ in a couple hours, and you're just feeling more clean and better, and just that is funny too, because spinach has a shit ton of protein in it and iron, so maybe that's another reason why I'm not feeling so bad too. It's just because like that stuff, it helps to recover your body, and it helps your blood too. So that might be a reason why I'm feeling great too. But also, it's just I'm getting sun. It's sunlight here. It's getting this sweet vitamin D on my skin, and that's got to be a plus to it too, I bet. But yeah, it's just having. I don't know. It's just like that's another thing too that you have to take in mind is that like I've been exposed to like a lot of people that just like you know, they show the dark side of these of this alcohol, you know, just like drinking alcohol, doing drugs casually, whatever, you know. Like one of my really good friends in Japan, he broke up with his girlfriend, and he would just drink a bottle of whiskey every fucking day. Every fucking day he'd order a fucking Domino's pizza and just down a bottle of fucking whiskey from the convenience store after his English teaching job. And, you know, he would mostly call and complain about, you know, he's like, man, I miss her so much. She used to let me do anal. And I'm like, yeah, dude, you know, that sucks. But the thing is like, you know, I didn't want to be a bad friend, so I put up with it for like a year. And then I just got to the point where I'm like, dude, you're my friend, and I don't want to be a little bitch. So I'm just going to tell it to you straight. You know, I've told you to get help. You don't want to get help. And I don't want to sit here and listen to you whine about your fucking ex while you're drunk again. I don't want to do that ever again. And so, you know, call me a bad friend, but I just, you know, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to just fucking be here and just watch you complain and cry. Like, nah, dude, get help. You know, that's my last thing. Just get help. And apparently, I think after I did that, he like started going on like a yakiniku diet or something, and he lost a shit ton of weight because he just did like keto pretty much, or Atkins, and just and got rid of the alcohol. But that was just, I heard from friends, like mutual friends. I don't know if that's 100% true, but if it is, I hope I was a catalyst for that. I even had a friend too that was just like, you know, he was dating this Japanese chick, and he always treated her bad, you know. He didn't even have sex with her for like a whole year, you know. But my friend just I think he liked the fact that she was mentally not there and that she was depressed, because it made him look like the strong one in the relationship. And I hated that, you know. And like eventually he's like, you know what? She's just too depressed and she keeps pressuring me to marry her, and I don't want to marry her, so I'm just going to fucking dump her. And then he did. He dumped her. And then he was like, oh my God, like now this person that made me feel so much better about myself is gone. And so then he tried to get back with her, and she was like, nah, you know, like this is, yeah, like you breaking up with me was kind of a wake-up call. And now I realized I have to find myself and work on myself, and, you know, I can't be with you either now. And he's like, wait a second, what? You don't need me anymore? She's like, yeah. And so he, like, you know, he became depressed, and this is a friend that's been depressed for years now, and he used to drink. I don't know if he still drinks, because I haven't talked to him in a while, but you know, he used to drink like 2 bottles of wine every night. You know, you go to the convenience store, spend $5 on each bottle, and then just come home and then just drink it while he played video games. And you know, he'd get to the point where he would just be drunk. And he would just, like, he'd get to the point where he was very Japanese. You know, Japanese people can get drunk and just fall asleep anywhere. And, like, standing up or sitting up even. And he would just do that. He would just stand up or sit up and then just fucking drool all over himself. And the guy was heavy, like a chimp. You know, he had a huge center of gravity. Like, you know, God, he wasn't fat. He was just, like, dense, you know. You throw him in the pool and he'll sink to the bottom, kind of thing. Again, like a chimp. And anyway, yeah, like eventually, like the alcohol just kind of fueled his sadness, because like he would always say, oh, I'm going to kill myself. Oh, I'm going to kill myself. Oh, I feel so bad. And it's like, then people, like, you know, they like him. He's not a bad guy. So then people would reach out and try to help him. And then he's like, oh, I don't want your, you know, he wouldn't even say, I don't want your help. He's just like, and he would just ghost them or just not reply to them. And then just like pretend like it didn't happen, and then just be cool for a couple days, and then do the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, this guy, he went to a psychologist and he got pills, but then, you know, he started mixing the pills with alcohol, which was really bad. And it's just like, you know, I eventually stopped hanging out with him just because he didn't want to fucking help himself. And I'm like, you know, I know that a good friend is supposed to be there for you no matter what, but I can't do that anymore. Like, I'm done. There's like, you know, wait till I'm rich and then I can put him in like a fancy fucking rehabilitation place like Jesse and Walter White or whatever, you know. Like, let me do that, but I can't just, no. Like, there's nothing. I don't feel like if I helped him, he's going to be a billionaire later on, or that like by helping him he's going to save a child from a drowning in a river or something. I was just like, nah, nothing's going to come out of me helping him, so I'm just going to let him sink or swim. And you know, he found a new batch of friends, and now and they eventually they're like, yeah, like fuck Sam's a dickhead for abandoning you. And then eventually they kind of caught on, and they're like, yeah, oh fuck, like he's not going to change even though we really tried. Okay, yeah, fuck this. And you know, everyone has their limits, and it's just like I don't know, for me it's like I really like, it makes me sad sometimes thinking about this, because it's like when it comes to myself, I'd love to be like a bartender, or like, you know, like mixing alcohol is so interesting. You know, like there's like literally like tens of thousands of cocktails out there. There's different brands of alcohol. Like alcohol is its own fucking world of just amazingness. And I love the fact, like on Archer, they kind of point that stuff out sometimes. Like, you know, like I'm making a fuzzy navel, but I only have AdSense, so I guess it's a green fuzzy navel or something. It's like, you know, alcohol is so fun. Like, you know, you can make all this, it's like cooking, but with drinks, and you know, what do they call that, mixology or whatever. And that is just so cool. But I'm just like, nah, like I know my history, my DNA history with my mom, and I've seen, like, you know, with other friends growing up, you know, what it's done to them. And then on top of that, like, you know, after drinking for so long, you know, all this shit, you know, after, like, you know, being a drinker, or I mean, like, you know, just drinking casually or whatever, and then just like getting on these ADHD pills, it's like, unless it's a really big, nice occasion, I don't really need to drink that much. And I tried to chime in on that earlier, but I forgot. Like, you know, I live in a guest house right now, and there's a couple Japanese people there where every night all they do is they just fucking drink. You know, like that's all they do. That's their life. They just fucking drink. They love alcohol, and they love drinking, and that's all they do. They just like, you know, at the end of the day, they're like, hey man, went by the convenience store, got a couple cold ones. And I'm like, you know, I don't say anything to them, but it's just like, damn, dude, you guys did this a while ago, like, fuck. And, you know, you're probably wondering, and I get this question a lot too, which is like, Tkyo, have you ever done drugs in Japan? And, you know, for legality's sake, I will say no. I've never done drugs in Japan. But if I had done drugs in Japan, let's talk about if I had the chance and had in a separate dimension or a separate world, a separate time, had done drugs in Japan. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. So, you know, there was a time in second dimension Tkyo Sam's life where you know, Tkyo Sam might have had a friend that was in a different part of Japan that might have you know, hooked him up with some Snoop Doggy Diggity dogs. And you know, Sam might have done that for a couple of years in Japan. Now, of course, this is never, we're not talking about this dimension, this world Sam. We're talking about second dimension Sam. And yeah, you know, people think that it's so hard because drug laws are so harsh here in Japan that it's very hard to get drugs. And that is simply not the case. You know, you just got to know the right people and not be a square. And you can find anything you want here. You want fucking heroin, you want prescription drugs, you want steroids, you want fucking LSD, you want mushrooms. They've got everything here, you know. And you know, for second dimension Sam, he might not have had a constant weed habit here, where like after school he would go home and smoke some puffy icky. Now, I'm, again, just for brevity's sake, not this dimension, other dimension Papa Tkyo. And yeah, but the thing is in Japan it's really expensive for weed, you know? Like, what is it, like an eighth costs like fucking, like, how much does an eighth cost in Japan? Eighth, like, you know, like an eighth back home would be, fuck, I don't even remember anymore. Okay, let's just make it easy and we'll just round up and make it small. So like for a bowl of weed, when I was in, you know, Colorado, it was like $5 for a bowl. There you go. Nice fat bowl, $5. In Japan, it's like 20 or 25, you know? You're really, you know, it's very high it's an expensive habit, you know, in Japan to maintain. So, but you know, if you have the money and you got a buddy who can constantly hook you up, you can do that stuff. Now, you know, like eventually, second dimension Papa Tkyo moved over to synthetic weed, which was a lot cheaper, but also way more sketch, and just like, you know, but yeah, that was nuts, you know, in that second dimension, in that hypothetical world, because, you know, like that stuff hit way stronger than regular weed, and it was cheaper by far, way cheaper. You could just smoke a little bit of that and you'd be gone. But yeah, I mean, there's been times where you can go to just random places, you know, fucking mountain raves, fucking clubs in Roppongi, whatever. And there's just people doing drugs and stuff. And the thing is that in Japan, this isn't like America, where people kind of know how to deal with the cops and they kind of have an idea of what to expect, what the cops can and can't do to you. And in Japan, Japanese people are just like, they're the whiny rich kid who's just like, I don't know, officer, I took 2 marijuanas and I'm scared. You know, like they're that kid. You know, they are not chill, and they will snitch on you as soon as possible. So sometimes, like, you know, if you're gonna do anything like that in Japan, it's good to never do it yourself, like never hold it yourself. It's always good to just do it with a friend who has it. Because, you know, it's ironic, in Japan, if you do any drug, I'm pretty sure, like you can get arrested for it if it shows up in your system. But like, you know, for weed, you can only get in trouble if you are physically holding it. If you smoked it and it's in your system, it doesn't matter. It's not that big a deal. They can't arrest you for it. But if you had it on your body, on your person, then they can arrest you for it. And so you could walk around high as a kite. As long as you don't have any weed on you, you're 100% safe in the eyes of the law. Now this year they're trying to change that, so I don't know how lucky they will be on changing that, but hopefully they don't change it, so that way you know, people can still come here and have a good time. You know, and that's the thing too, like Japan, they really screwed up at first when we got legalized in America, because just so many Japanese people would go over, buy a shit ton of vape pens, bring it back here, and the cops didn't know anything. Now they're onto it, because it's like a few people would just get caught and then squeal or whatever, you know. So yeah, you know, that's the thing. But you know, again, it's things are always changing, but you know, in a good way. I heard, well, I don't know, somebody asked her live stream, it's like, do I ever think weed would be legal in Japan? Well, as far as I'm aware, weed used to be legal in Japan, but then MacArthur from America came in, and he's like, drugs are bad, you shouldn't do drugs, and he made weed illegal in Japan's constitution. And because of that, weed's always been illegal. You know, it's been more of like drugs in Japan suck, because they're all labeled as like the same level or class pretty much. Like, you know, that's why a lot of Japanese people, if they're gonna do drugs, maybe they'll do meth instead of weed, just because, you know, meth is you know, they're both really expensive. Meth gives you a higher kick, and they're still like kind of roughly, they're not super roughly, but they're kind of roughly the same amount of trouble, you know, like same batsu punishment. Look at that river. No wonder shit like this floods here so much. God damn, it's all just flat land and then just a high river. Yeah, dude, no wonder this place floods. God damn, Chiba, get your shit together. But yeah, I think that Japan, because tourism has gone down so much, and Japan was trying to make a shit ton of money off of tourism, Japan needs to find a one way to level up against China. And see, China always gets, they're really economically big, because they make everybody shit. They make the iPhones, they make all this stuff, and then they reverse engineer it, and then they just sell it, or they just copy it themselves and make their own version of it. And like, you know, it used to be you could send spies physically somewhere to do shit like this, but now it's like China, they just hack everybody, steal their ideas, and then monetize it for themselves. And so Japan's going to have to find a way to leg up China. And I think one way they can do it is that, well, China hates drugs. And you know, Japan could maybe be not I'm not talking about like anything above weed, but they could maybe make weed legal here. You know, I think that would be cool. Make weed legal, and you know, and then people would come here to smoke weed and stuff, and you know, then they could do that. You know, but I think like they're afraid of doing that just because weed makes you think. You know, weed expands your mind and your horizons. So if enough Japanese people start smoking weed, then they'll be like, what the fuck? Why am I doing this shitty job for, or whatever? And maybe they'll want to change their lives to stop being slaves to the man. You know, who knows? But yeah, either way, I'm curious what will happen over the next 10 or 20 years. I hope it happens, because Japan is always looking for a new way to make money. And I think that since they're already kind of like tobacco, like cigarettes are, they're becoming less popular in Japan because, you know, like young people are smart. They're like, yeah, this isn't cool. It gives you cancer. And there's a lot less movies with people smoking in them now, looking cool. So less people want to emulate it, you know? There's no more Spike Spiegels doing smoking cigarettes on the Bebop, you know? And, yeah. But look at that, too. That is just fucking beautiful right there. Oh, yeah, we're definitely getting near Narita when you see all these beautiful fucking rice fields and shit like this. This is nice. This makes Papa's dick super katai peanuts. Look at these guys. Yeah, boys. Oh, I love that. I love that we're bikers and we can say hi to each other like that. That's so fucking cool. But anyway, yeah, look at this. We're in the middle of just nowhere. This is fucking cool. Like, we're just literally, we're here and we're boys. We're doing boy stuff. Oh man, that makes me, god damn it, Nick. Nick, I know you don't watch my shit anymore, but Nick, if you're watching this, you need to get your motorcycle license. You know, it's so funny. Like, Tetsu had his motorcycle license, and you know, once him and his chick started breaking up, I was like, Tetsu, you should get a motorcycle. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna get a motorcycle. And I'm like, you should get a GoPro for that too. Yeah, and you should buy a tent. Yeah. And now Tetsu's like, I want to go on boys' adventures, and it's really cool because because I'm the guy who like knows all this stuff already about going, and so he's just letting me kind of take the lead, and he's just kind of coming along and feeling you know, feeling what this is like, and that's really fucking cool. But anyway, yeah. So my GoPro battery says that it's dying, so let's get close to. Oh, look at that blue car. What's that car? Was it like a Chevrolet or something? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, let's get close to ending this, guys. Do me a favor. So if you made it this far, let's put in a secret comment of the day, and let's put in the comment, and that is the lovable old Jenkins. You know, from Half Baked. It was just me, Brian, Kenny, Scarface, and the lovable old Jenkins. Wait, I don't remember no lovable old Jenkins. Shit, man, I'm high as fuck, you know. Anyway, yeah, put that as the comment, and yeah, and you know, what else? Is there anything else we want to say? And yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button and subscribe bell to get notified when another video of mine is coming out. And yeah, you know, do me a favor, if you like this video too and you want to keep watching them, I will put a playlist for this at the end of it, so you guys can go and binge the other content that I've made so far. But yeah, I always appreciate you guys and all the support, and big shout out to all the Tkyo Sam patrons on patreon.com/Tkyo Sam. You guys kick fucking ass, and yeah, let's just enjoy this ride till I get to stop. Look at this. It's just so fucking beautiful. Look at those fucking, the green. Look at the green, Saya. The green. Oh my god. But yeah. Anyway. Why didn't he just end the video? I wanted to show you guys this stuff before we're ending it. Look at this. This is Japanese countryside 101, baby. Being all kinds of sex. But yeah, anyway. Yeah. That's it, guys. See you later. Peace.